This is a picture of me a few months ago. As you can see, I had no jawline, a bad hair, a weak physique, zero confidence, no bitches. Literally everything that you could possibly think was wrong was wrong. This is a picture of me now. Today, I look better than I ever could have imagined. And in this video, I'm gonna show you a step-by-step process of how you can do the exact same thing even faster than me. You've probably seen all the TikTok Looksmaxxing secrets, all the little edits in tip slideshows, but no one shows you how to actually properly do it. And so that's why today I'm giving you the last Looksmaxxing guide you will ever need. You're not going to need to watch a single video after this. This is the same advice I wish I had when I started. So lock in, get some popcorn, and pay attention, because this video can literally change the trajectory of your life if you let it. This specific picture of me is probably around like 2022. This is what I look like now, and as you can see, a lot has changed. I'm gonna teach you how to do this. Your results might not be as drastic, but I promise you 99% of you, I can get you to a somewhat similar kind of transformation or ascension. This is gonna be real quick. I'm just gonna go through this document. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that you are not ugly, you're just untapped potential. I want to remind you of that, because I used to feel the same way. I think everybody in this space gets into this space because at some point probably look in the mirror and you don't like the way you look and you think you're ugly. But I'm here to remind you that you're not. You just have potential that hasn't been tapped into yet. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm here. I'm gonna try to tap into your potential as much as I possibly can, because nobody was there to help me. I had to do it all by myself. Luckily for you, you don't have to do that. You can watch this video and you can use everything I'm about to tell you as a guide. So you're not alone on this. And you're not ugly. So stop saying that. Stop looking in the mirror. I know how it is. I know how it is to look in the mirror. Oh, I'm so chopped. Bro. Listen, bro. A couple months and you'll be good, okay? Everybody has the potential to look decent. You just have to lock in, and you have to be very serious about what you're doing. It's just a little bit of effort and a little bit of consistency, but I promise you can do it. And trust me, I would know. I thought I had no potential. Every time I talk about Looksmaxxing and it's like an overview guide, I like to divide everything that I'm going to talk about into 4 pillars. The 4 most important parts that kind of make up your overall appearance to the world or to the universe. I'm going to start with pillar 1. I'm going to start with probably the hardest thing on this list to change: your facial structure. In terms of facial structure attractiveness, again, a lot of it has to do with your bone structure, which is kind of immutable, but you need to learn to work with what you got, and you can kind of change it a little bit. You just have to know how to optimize the right things. Your face is divided into facial thirds. Overall physical attractiveness, especially when it comes to your face, is based off of symmetry, and a lot of people think that symmetry is just like this way, but what you don't understand is it's also this way too. You want to maximize how attractive you really look genuinely, you need to look at your face objectively and try to make every single third of your face as even as possible in both ways. And there's a lot of ways to do that. In terms of actually improving your facial structure, I honestly think one of the best things you could do, I know people are going to hate me for this, but one of the best things you could do is mewing. I'm not going to say that mewing is going to completely change your face and kind of like bring your entire jaw forward. I know a lot of people talk about that, but what it honestly does, it fixes your tongue posture, which in turn can and will improve the overall aesthetic structure of your face if you do it over a long period of time. Breathing through your nose. Breathing through your nose should be your default tongue posture anyway. So a lot of people like to shit on mewing and say that it doesn't work and all this other stuff, but I'm literally like, my whole argument to that is like, well, you should be doing it anyway, regardless of whether it helps you become more attractive or not, which I promise you it does. You need to breathe through your nose. That's just like health, bro. That's like, to just be a healthy person who doesn't have like sleep apnea and all these health problems, you need to breathe through your nose. Mewing is something you should be doing regardless of whether you care about how attractive you are or not. And if you're watching this video, you definitely do care. Start mewing. The back of your tongue, literally just take the back of your tongue and put it on the top of your mouth. That's all you have to do, and just press as hard as you can and just do that every single day. You should see a slightly stronger, more developed face, but what you should also see is a lot more health benefits as well. You shouldn't have as many breathing problems, and you should just feel better because you're breathing through your nose. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to breathe through your mouth. And you should also, if you need to, invest in some mouth tape so that you don't breathe through your mouth when you sleep, because a lot of people will try mewing all day and then they'll go to sleep. They'll have their mouth wide open while they're sleeping. I can't sit here and tell you exactly how to improve every third of your face, because like I said, everybody's different. Some people have super long chins and super short foreheads, and they need to, like, I don't know, grow some hair so that they can cover their I don't know, like so I can't sit here and tell you exactly how to make every face third of your face even, but what I can say, two things that can really help you is one, your hair on the top of your head, and two, the hair on your face. That's probably the best way to even out your facial thirds. So if you're somebody who has a super big forehead, well, guess what? You can cover that big forehead with long hair, and a lot of people do that. Maybe your jaw kind of sucks, like your face looks kind of round, like it doesn't really look proportionate because your chin is so recessed. I was kind of like that. One thing you can do is grow out a beard if you have the genes for it. Hair and facial hair both are probably the easiest way to even out the thirds on your face. So invest in that. You got to look at yourself though. I can't look at you because I don't know what you look like. You have to look at yourself and see like, how do I even out the thirds on my face this way and this way? Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is your skin. So if you're watching this and you have really bad acne, I'm gonna need you to listen to me for a second, because I can 110% guarantee you I have been there. In fact, I'm gonna put up a bunch of pictures right now just so you know I'm not lying to you, because I used to have terrible skin. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you to do before you do anything else is to fix your diet. Like, even if I tell you how to clear your skin with products, you're just gonna keep fucking up your skin because you're gonna keep eating bad. You need to fix your diet first, and what I would suggest is that you stick to a very specific food groups. So I would suggest that all of the stuff you're eating right now, anything that has a lot of sugar in it, like the type of stuff that you know is bad for you, right? Like if you wake up and eat like Fruity Pebbles, I would suggest you stick to a couple food groups that you know are really good for you. So I would say like whole meat, eggs. I would stay away from most bread. You don't really need bread. You can get carbs from fruit. Basically just stick to meat, some form of milk, but not too much. There's a lot of dairy that can fuck up your skin. Vegetables, fruit, and occasionally rice and potatoes, and that's pretty much it. If you just only eat that and nothing else, so like whatever it is you're eating right now, if you go and you eat like canes every day, take that off of your diet for like literally like 6 months and only stick to what I just said: meat, eggs, fruits, vegetables, occasionally rice, occasionally potatoes, and some milk. Sometimes that, along with everything else I'm about to tell you, will handle 99% of your acne issues. And cut out all the other stuff that you're eating. Like if you're one of those people who goes and buys like hot chips from the gas station, don't do that. The next thing I want you to do is to find your skin type. I was trying my hardest to clear my skin. Everything I was trying never worked, and it was because I didn't know what my skin type was. So I kept putting on stuff that weren't really the best for my skin type, that kind of just did nothing. Like I kept putting stuff on my skin and it would look the exact same. Like all my acne would be back, my skin would be super dry, I'd have like hyperpigmentation, all this stuff, and I'd be like, bro, what's going on? What's going on is that I was doing nothing. That's what was going on. You can go online and look it up. I would actually take a test. That's what I did. There was like this long ass 40 question test that determined what my skin type was. After I found that, the next thing I did right after that, I went out on like a whole search. It took me like hours, and I basically found very specific products that basically targeted everything that was bad with my skin. I don't know what the exact term was because it was very long, but I had like the worst skin type you could possibly have. Like it was dry and oily and all this other stuff. But I went and I looked up products for that skin type, and I kind of put together my own routine based off of that. And then what I did was I ordered that stuff and I actually stuck to it. That was probably like 40% of it. And I still do that to this day. I have the same skincare routine and I actually do it. It's every single day and every single night. I put on the same 4 things on my skin. That is how you actually see some results. So that was the first thing. I actually started to see some differences with that. There's a couple of big things I did, which I'm not going to tell you to do, but I'm just going to tell you that that's what I did. The first thing is Accutane. I took Accutane for like 8 months, and then I hopped off of it, and my skin was like the clearest it had ever been. This was before everything else that I just said. This is before like the whole finding my skin type and getting like products and stuff like that. So it kind of came back. It didn't come back as bad as it was. It was never as bad as it was before I got Accutane, but it came back a little bit. It just wasn't as bad as it was before I got Accutane. Before Accutane, it was horrible. So that was the first big thing that I did, was take Accutane. I'm not going to tell you to do that. That is something you have to decide. You could ask your doctor. I can't tell you to go get Accutane. What I can say is that is something I did in my past, but it didn't help me completely. It's not a get out of jail free card, but it does help. The other thing, and I still do this right now, I put on 2 products on my skin. You can do a lot of skincare, but there's just some things about your skin that can't really change. You have a bunch of acne scars. You can put on skincare products as much as you want, but that's not going to get rid of the acne scar. And so what I did is I got tretinoin, which is like this, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it, but it worked. It's very strong and it dries out your skin a lot. It kind of gets rid of like the scarring, kind of helps the texture of your skin too. Like if you have like really rough, patchy, dry, which is kind of how my skin was before I got tretinoin, and you have acne scars, if that's how your skin texture is, that is a really good way to mitigate it. But it's also like just as strong and has side effects as Accutane. So that is also something that you're gonna have to get prescribed. The other thing I got was this thing called hydroquinone. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen. Hydroquinone. That's basically like a dark spot remover, but it's like a really strong one. It has this chemical in it that lightens up all the dark spots on your skin, and I use that to even out my skin tone. And I did all of this at the same time, except for Accutane. I took that a long time ago. That was a lot of information, but this is what it took. That has worked wonders for me. But the next thing I want to talk about is your teeth. You don't really need to do much for your teeth. You just need to brush your teeth every day, which is not something I should have to tell you. If I do have to tell you that, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. What you should also be doing is whitening your teeth. You don't have to do this every day. Obviously, teeth whitening every day is dangerous. I would say like once or maybe twice every month, you should go out of your way to try to whiten your teeth a little bit. There's multiple ways you can do this. You can use teeth whitening strips. What I did is I do like this DIY teeth whitening thing where I basically put baking soda and hydrogen peroxide in a cup, and then I basically like brush my teeth with the baking soda, and then I swish down the hydrogen peroxide with water, kind of like use it as mouthwash. Don't overdo that because it can mess up your gum. I want to talk about the second pillar now, which is your body, and I'm not going to talk about this too much because I feel like this is something that most of you probably already have on lock. Every single guy who's watching this probably goes to the gym. I'm 99% sure you watching this, you probably go to the gym. For everybody who's just starting, who's never been that consistent in a gym before, I would suggest you do a full body split, because this is what I did when I was first starting. And the reason why I think this works so well is because it's somewhat difficult. It's hard enough to where it gets you into the routine of going to the gym every day and pushing yourself really hard and working out, but it's also really easy to understand and follow because you're just doing the same thing every day. It's very easy to be consistent on this split just because once you start it and you see progress, you basically get addicted to it. You go to the gym, you do full body for like a month or two, you start to see progress, and then you get addicted to the gym, and that's where the real progress begins. But yeah, an example full body would be like chest, you do like a bench press, and then you do back, which could be like lat pull downs, and then you do abs. For abs, I do like ab row rollouts, and then legs, you could do Bulgarian split squats, or I don't know, that's what I used to do. Bulgarian split squats, 3 sets to failure. Everything I do is 3 sets to failure, so I'm just going to say 3 sets to failure for every exercise. To end it off, arms. You can do like tricep push downs and bicep curls or something like that. And then you would do that like 5 or 6 days a week. I started out and I was doing like 4 or 5 days a week. And then eventually I went to 6. There's so many splits you could do. Ignoring all that, the second most important part of this is your diet. You basically just need to decide if you need to build or you need to lose. There's 2 things you're trying to do if you're in the gym. You're either trying to gain weight or you're trying to lose weight. You are actively trying to do one or the other. If you are a skinny guy, you are trying to gain. You're trying to gain muscle. If you're a fat guy, you're trying to lose fat. So you need to look at yourself and look at like how you look in the mirror right now and decide, which one am I? What am I trying to do right now? Am I skinny? Am I trying to gain weight, or am I trying to lose it? Am I fat? If you're skinny fat, you're just trying to gain. You're a little bit on the fatter side, but you have no muscle mass. You're trying to gain weight. Gain muscle. For the guys who are skinny, who are trying to gain, you need to be in a caloric surplus. It's just eating more calories than you burn on a daily basis. Go online and find how many calories that you burn on a daily basis, and that number is what you need to take and then add on to gain weight. So let's just say, for an example, your caloric maintenance is around 2,000. If you want to gain weight, you're gonna have to add about 300 to 500 calories extra. Now you have to eat 2,300 calories every single day, and it's just like that with losing body fat too. So if you're a little bit on the bigger side, a little bit on the fatter side, you're doing the exact same thing. It's just you're subtracting 200 to 500 instead of adding. So if your caloric maintenance was 2,000, like in this example, now you gotta eat 1,500 calories. And you gotta make sure that before you go to sleep, you do not eat more than 1,500 calories. Okay, so the third thing I'm gonna talk about, I'm not gonna go over this too much, is your hair. And hair is a game changer, bro. I literally cannot describe to you how important hair is for a lot of guys. Honestly, every guy. The only thing you could really do is to find the best hairstyle for your face shape. There's different hairstyles that fit the best for each face shape. So I'm just going to use myself as an example. I have a very round face. It's not as round anymore, but it used to be. What I did is I would grow my hair out, and I would always get this like kind of rounder, poofier kind of hair. But every time I would grow my hair out, I would notice I looked a lot better, and it was because the hair on the top of my head made my round face look a little bit slimmer. What I just talked about for me is what you need to do for you. If you have like a square type of face, or if you have like a longer face, like you got a really long chin, your face is kind of like a moon shape, there's just so many things you could do. You could balance out your face with like side swept bangs or medium length layers. If you just have a really nice face, like, and you want to look more masculine, maybe you look a little bit too boyish, choice. You could get a shortcut, bro. You could get a fade or a buzz cut. There's some guys who are just so good looking, they can look good with a buzz cut. I'm not lying. This is just my personal opinion on it, but I will wager most of you who are watching this look the best with longer hair. It doesn't have to be super long, but the longer it is, the better that you probably look. Whatever hairstyle you have, look into getting a longer version of that with some type of clean fade or clean cut. That is probably the best look for you. I want to talk about the fourth pillar real quick, which is basically miscellaneous. This is the finishing touches. So this is after you did everything else that I was just talking about. This is the last thing you need to do. I call them the little things, but these are things that actually matter. Some of this stuff can really be the difference between you just being mid and you actually being like a pretty good looking dude. This is kind of obvious probably to most of you, but the first thing I'm gonna talk about is your posture and your expression. There's only so much you can do when you look good, but your posture and your vibe and your expression is just terrible. It's really just about having an aura of, I know it's kind of cringe, aura, cringe, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's kind of like having an aura of self-confidence in yourself to where you're not one of those guys who's, have you ever seen those guys, like, you know those guys I'm talking about, those guys who are walking around and they're just slouched. It's like you talk to them and they can't even look at you in the eye. I think you know what I'm talking about. The best way I could describe it is like, think of one of those guys and then do the exact opposite of what that guy is doing. That guy that you're thinking about who slouches when he walks and he has his head down all the time and his hands in his pockets and he never looks at anybody. You try to talk to him and he's stuttering all the time and he can't even look at you in the eye. Reverse all of that. Obviously, walk straight, walk tall. Don't be afraid to look at people. That's kind of something that I had to learn how to do. It's easy to say it. It's not really easy to do it. It's a lot easier to make eye contact when you think, especially when you're not like subconsciously afraid of everybody. And the next thing I want to talk about is your hygiene and your smell. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I have to tell most of you to take a shower. Invest in some nice cologne. I didn't even realize until I started putting on cologne. It actually kind of matters a little bit. Like it matters in the sense that you never want to smell bad, but if you smell good, like really good, people will notice it. I cannot explain to you how many times I've been hanging out with somebody or hanging out with a girl or something like that, and she smells me. She's like, bro, you smell really good. And I'm like, oh, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Basically, like just a cherry on top. Just look up YSL cologne. That's probably the best one. I got the most compliments on that one. Next thing I want to talk about is your clothes. I actually don't think this is that important, but it's important in the sense this is one of those things that you can't be bad at, but dressing good won't necessarily help you if you're not already attractive. You're not gonna completely change people's minds about how attractive you are just from putting on a nice fit. This is the best advice I can give you, is to find an archetype. Like, find an archetype of a guy that you kind of look like, who is attractive, who dresses nice, and then just copy his fits, bro. But not completely. Like, copy his fits, but kind of change it up a little bit. Like, switch up the shirt, because that's what I do. There's a couple guys I follow on Instagram who look like me a little bit, kind of fit the same vibe as me. Like, there's some like light-skinned guys with curls. Sometimes it's just like a casual fit, bro. Like some jeans, a nice shoes, and a shirt, but it looks good. And I think half of the reason it looks good is because, one, they take care of their bodies, but two, because, you know, it doesn't matter what you wear. If you're overweight, if you have a bad body, it doesn't matter. We already talked about that. That was the second pillar. Like, it could be a model or something, or it could just be a famous guy, basketball player. Just find an archetype of a guy who kind of looks like you. Like, maybe you're a tall, dark-skinned guy with some long-ass dreadlocks. There are a lot of guys out there who fit that archetype. Look up, like, the outfits that those guys are wearing. I've never put together a nice outfit without inspiration. There's never been a point where I just put together an outfit and I was like, oh yeah, this is hard. I'm not saying copy completely, obviously. I'm not saying like just steal his whole flow. Take inspiration, you know? That's basically it. So just summarize, right? Your face, your body, your hair, and your vibe / miscellaneous. Everything else that's important, like the tattoos, earrings, chains, it's just little shit you can add. But it depends on who you are. If that's not the type of person you are, you don't have to get tattoos. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get earrings. That is me. Take everything I said, try to improve on it the best you can, and just from that alone, without anything else going into depth, you should see some really good progress. You know, this whole Looksmaxxing journey and the way that you look. So now that you have all that information, I'm gonna give you two choices. The first choice is to do everything that I just said all by yourself. You've got the knowledge now. You can dive in, apply the tips, hit the gym, track your meals, focus on building your body and getting the confidence, but also in the process, take on all the tiny mistakes along the way that everyone has to go through, that I had to go through, that you're going to have to go through if they go on this journey alone. So you can do that if you want. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and it could still take you months and even potentially years longer to get the desired results that you want. If that's the choice you want to take, you can take that right now. Choice B is to help me help you. You know what I'm saying? You can skip the struggle. You can fast track your transformation with me personally guiding you every single step of the way. Imagine you have a blueprint tailored specifically to you. You know how I was sitting here in this video talking about how, oh, I don't know what you look like. Well, in this scenario, I do know what you look like. And I'm working with you every single day, explaining to you everything that I just explained in this video. I'm explaining, except I'm explaining it specifically tailored towards you, and I'm making sure that you are consistent and on track. There's no more wondering if you're doing the right thing or wasting your time with another random TikTok product that's horrible for your looks. With my one-on-one help, you'll get personalized advice, your own game plan, and direct support from me every single day to ensure that you're staying on track. My fitness advice, my Looksmaxxing advice, I'll give you personalized diet plans, every single thing that you possibly need. Instead of just sitting here explaining to you, I'm walking you through your own transformation, cherry picking everything that you do to make sure that you come out looking like Captain America after he took that super soldier serum. You know what I'm saying? This is your chance to go from just watching other guys transform and glow up to actually becoming the best version of yourself with my guidance to guarantee that you won't fall on your journey. Here are some pictures of me. This was me. I don't even remember what this was. This is me on the left. This is me now on the right. But look at my skin. You see how dry it is? That was like during COVID. I took this picture in online class, and this is me now at the gym. Here's a good picture of my side profile. That's me on the left. That was me actually last year. I glowed down and I transformed again. And you don't have to just take this from me. So this right here is Chris. You see this guy? It doesn't even look like the same guy. This guy on the left and this guy on the right now. He watched my videos and I worked with him not even that long, like a couple of weeks. I helped Chris go from this to this. So, and actually, fun fact, you see the way that his hair looks? He actually got that from me. I didn't even ask him to do that. I hope that this kind of puts into perspective what I can do for you. But I have a warning right now. There's only 10 spots available. This is something that I'm really serious about. I really want to help everybody who watches me. I have 10,000 subscribers. I don't have the resources to help 10,000 people at the same time. So I only have 10 spots. It's first come, first serve. So if you're watching this and you're actually serious about leveling up, I don't know when I'm going to open something like this again. If you want to stay the way you are for the rest of your life, then that's your choice. If you want to go and watch my videos and try to do all these things yourself without any of my help, you can do that. But if you're truly ready to shock everyone with your glow up, basically disappear for 6 months, 8 months, come back, this insanely crazy looking version of yourself, and just be the guy who can inspire other people, the same way that I inspired Chris, you can inspire somebody else to do something similar and become a better version of themselves. And you could have my help while doing it. If you're serious about it, just go through this crazy like solo leveling type transformation. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go in the description, click the first link. It's going to be the first link. It's going to be my Instagram. And on Instagram, I want you to DM me the word looks in all caps. Everything else from there, we could talk about. And from there, we will change the trajectory of your life forever. Choice is yours.